county to connect. But our focus is really getting Lamar to Sioux City connected. And we can get that momentum going and really get that interest and excitement. And I think once that starts, we'll have a lot of people really, really interested in getting on board. And so we're working diligently, very hard to get this first connection started and going and just to build that excitement and allow people from Lamar to get into Merrill and support that community also.
Yeah, my comment comes kind of as a drop off of the, you know, at some point in time, Plywood Trail Committee could disband, and then we become owners, which we've already talked about. But that was my whole thing. Was I thought that, you know, there's future projects out there. And then Leslie, last thing was this first phase. Was it 2.2 million, 3.2 million? How much was it?
Close to 3. It's just over 3.
And that included the bridge structure to get across the river? Okay, good enough. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you.
I would clarify what Scott was working on was a trail to go off our existing trail and follow the old Kings Highway and then go up where those houses are. And that was voted down actually by the council.
Yeah, to go Madison Avenue
Yep.
and then, but there was something about going out on the
Well,
ground.
that plan was to come back on the county road and connect back down to park, in the park area.
Okay,
So,
well, I knew there was some discussion.
yeah, it would be a second loop. That was voted down.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions?
Motion to adopt resolution number 2026 to approve submittal of application to the State Recreation Trails Program funding for stage 1 of the Plywood Trail.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the resolution submitting the application for state recreation trail funding for stage 1 of the Plywood Trail. Roll call, please.
Donlin,
Yes.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Knapp,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Swift.
Yes.
That passed 5-0. Just go on record.
Thank you, Leslie.
Hey, thank you so much, council. So appreciate your support. And next time I will be coming back with good news.
Yeah.
Promises. Okay. We're through the meat, now we get to ask questions. Start with Mr. Wick. Got
Nothing today, thank
You
you.
got nothing? Art?
I want to take an opportunity to remind the public that we've all been cooped up. The library has done a wonderful job facilitating a big upswing in business. They continue to do a good job, and I say that sincerely. Hats off to Shirley and her crew. The second one is Lamartians, be aware or be notified that the Lamar Art Center has got a fantastic display going on right now, the American Watercolor Society. It's actually a very high honor for Lamar's in this community to have that. I think you've got about 30 days to go visit it, and June 12th through the 31st. So kind of just giving a notice to everybody that if you get one, take the kiddos out or go out and really see some fantastic watercolor. I haven't been to this one yet, but I was at the last one, and it's amazing what these people do with watercolors. So that is on my radar. And then, Jason, I'm assuming you will give us an update on parks? Anything on parks?
Yes,
Okay, so I'll just leave that.
I didn't do Cleveland, but Cleveland.
Well, that's mainly what I didn't know if we were starting to dip our toes in O'Toole since we've got Cleveland on the swing.
Thank you.
But I'll let you do it. Anyway, you can come back.
Okay.
You can come back to that.
No, you can do it right now, let's go. What do you got to tell us?
Okay, well, nothing's changed on O'Toole. I think I gave a little update last time, is that I hadn't proceeded on doing anything with O'Toole because I wanted to get Cleveland going, make sure that got going. And it is staked now it's staked, so hopefully today or tomorrow that dirt work and that subgrade work should start on Cleveland.
Is Brad doing that, or did we hire him?
Hired, will be assisting. I mean,
Or,
so-
right, okay.
So we'll be, if dirt's needed, we'll haul dirt. We already have the rock subbase stockpiled, so when it's time for that, we will haul that to the contractor.
Question.
Back on the tool, go ahead, Sue.
Is there a plan for another set of restrooms at Cleveland or no?
East side, yes.
East side?
Yep.
We have one in East.
Yeah, it'll be, I mean, in that general facility or vicinity of the new playground and the shelter house.
Shelter house.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Back to a tool, yes, and I knew that, but I guess I was kind of the impression that once we got Cleveland rolling, we could start, feeling out our options for O'Toole, because in this down year, I think it's a great time to really get these.
Yeah,
That's my point.
and then we gotta make sure we have enough money, right?
Yeah, I kind of, just with the concerns with COVID and stuff, I kind of said, well, maybe we should take a minute and
Yeah.
make sure we know where we're at.
Yeah, because we had, well,
Don't worry about
just,
funds.
So you can blame
I'll just say this, Clark, I mean, we had
will provide.
We had big expectations for all those playgrounds, and our intent was to use Lost.
I know.
So Lost is a little up in the air right now.
I do get that.
Yeah.
Lost is lost.
Yeah, Lost is getting lost.
But if you build it, it'll come.
Okay, well, I was
Yeah.
curious, okay, I'll leave that one.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, so according to what I read, and Beverly will correct me on this lost deal, the lost deal, we're gonna keep getting the same amount of monies until October, I believe. And then all of a sudden, they're gonna let us know in October how much we don't get, or how much we do get in November, and not give us any idea until that occurs,
That's, yeah.
right?
Until they do the true up, we're not
Yeah.
gonna know.
Now, the true Mr. Knapp is involved in is the fact that the stores in town have been thoroughly packed, i.e. Walmart, Fairway, Hy-Vee, and even Sherwin-Williams, even Hardware Hank, even Baumgart's, the liquor stores. They're all getting local option dollars. So we might get a true up that will even surprise Mr. Jacob.
There you go.
Okay,
That's possible.
so that's
I'm hoping for
what,
that.
we gotta be a little positive in these moments, Jacob, so come on, let's get with the program here. So, I do have to say a couple things, just that I didn't say earlier. One is when we put out the playground design, it was in the newspaper, it was on the radio website, all the comments were positive. There's a tremendous number of positive comments. That doesn't always happen when we do stuff like that, so that was kind of nice that we got so many positive comments, so people were happy about that. The walking trails that we talked about have been the busiest in the history of walking trails in Lamar. I think Ken will verify that.
I got a lead in when you're
Yeah,
done.
so it's just, people are realizing that's a good thing. They're saying it's a great thing, even if it's 98 degrees, for some reason, people are still out there walking. So, those are just my two little side things.
Mine was problem of direction. When you get onto Mahogany, that corner there going into the park,
Yep,
people get really confused. They don't know where to go. We need a sign that says trail that way and trail that way. And even when they come down, they don't really, this is visitors coming in or people from the campground, basically. And when they come across the Mahogany Avenue, they don't know where it goes. And we have a sign on the other side with an arrow trail.
well, up until this year, all we had was locals doing it, so they knew where to go. The
Yeah.
problem is now we're having a whole lot of people, including a whole lot of campers, that are coming for the first time.
I stood up there directing traffic.
And Ken's right,
Yeah.
Did you
what we need is the
send an
ones.
invoice?
Uh,
Send an invoice for your time?
Yeah.
Very, Jason,
Very spot.
very similar to ones on a golf course that just has the little sign that
Yep.
says 6 this way or 5 this way. That's all you need right at the corner of that sidewalk there.
And if mowing the issue, if they use one
Yeah.
with a stake, they can pull it out,
Right.
and put it back down. You know?
But yeah, sometimes you come over that bridge from Mahogany into town and there's 20 people there.
Wondering where to go.
Wondering.
Walking around in circles.
It's a beautiful area, so they're not losing anything. It's not a bad deal, basically. It's just something that, you know, maybe Ken's probably right, there just needs to be a little signage right there. Because that's the only area that's that.
You know,
And I
it
don't know
might,
how many people would wanna use that trail down through between the lakes. I mean, if that just a clubhouse or something, that direction. 'Cause I don't, it's hard to ride bikes down between the lakes because people
Too
put
many-
on their
too many
trunk on
people.
it.
there's only one lake there now.
Yeah.
We was trying to clarify, there's not 2 ponds no more. so.
Yeah.
Maybe that we could look at, that where it crosses, so if we're going from east to west or west to east, across there, that might be a good location for, just because of sight visibility, if you're coming from over the bridge. I'm not talking flashing lights, but more of the pedestrian crossing, bright yellow signs to tell people here's the crossing, rather than just a smaller sign
Well,
that says
if you
walking
come
trail.
from the other side trail, come across, you typically won't think you got to
And
head up over the
You can't
bridge.
see where the trail goes when you
No,
look east.
you won't go over
Yeah.
that bridge.
They
But once you go to the bridge, then you'll think, yeah, I did it right, but
Yeah.
you just
Gotta
don't,
get there.
yeah, you don't think about it. So, that, and then the other thing that, the other positive is we put signs out there, by 18th, is it? Is that 18th, that says,
Oh, speed limits?
yeah, it didn't say slow down the first 2 times, but it said it on the 3rd time. So I realized that was a 6 mile an hour overrun, and that's what it says. And
Justin's making notes.
we had, but the thing is, we actually had people, commenting that was nice. They thought that was helpful. And might not solve the problem. But again, feedback from people that typically we don't always think we get, that said they thought that was helpful. Including, I think, one of the lady maybe that got hit out there even, sent us a note saying thanks for putting it out there. So, kind of like my universal thumbs up today is that, you know, we got a great place here. We got a lot of people saying thanks, and it's pretty easy to be complainers in this world, but let's realize how many thanks we get, because we get a lot. It's a good place.
I've got one more second, sure.
No, go for it.
And we could bring this up to public safety where it would have to go anyhow. But my concern is First Street and Business Highway 75. When Dave and his guys are running those trucks down there, and you can hear the sirens, but if you get somebody that's going from my place and trying to catch the green light with a semi, there's gonna be one heck of a pile up on that First and 75 corner sometime. Taking in effect of what we did with the flashing lights out there, if we had something that you could push on a fire truck and get a yellow flashing light going there, so they would know that's where it's coming from. Because you can hear the sirens, but things come together really fast there.
We do have signs on poles that show the fire trucks prior to that corner going both
Yeah.
directions, but we don't have any lights.
I don't think it cuts it for.
No, it's just kind of like when you hear the train whistle. You don't
Yeah.
know necessarily what direction you're gonna do, but you're gonna go across the track as fast as you can.
Just an observation, living down there, it's, some of those people are really gun it down there to get down to the green light.
Yeah, our standing rule is you have to stop at that corner before you enter the highway anyway.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't stop somebody from rear-ending somebody else that stops for us to let us out. But, yeah, we stop prior, we don't just zip right out onto the highway.
Well, I don't think what you're doing is dangerous, I just think it's a dangerous.
Right, you got some that could rear-end somebody, but that happens.
Something to think about.
Mr. Donlin? you got something to add to this, positive party?
I am just enthralled with the great dissertations I'm listening to.
We'll just leave it at that. We'll go to city administrator.
You don't want to stop sign anywhere or anything?
Jason?
Maybe Rex wants to know that the UPS truck just went by his house at about 40 miles an hour.
That's the first time it went by. It's usually an automatic stop. Okay, Jason, go for it. What do you got?
Well, I already told you about Cleveland. I will give you the discussion we had at least last council meeting, I believe. It was right after the couple incidences out on the Floyd River with the trees and the rescues. Those trees have been removed, at least in that area. When was it? Maybe last week, end of the week before.
2
So
weeks
hopefully,
ago, Friday.
yeah, so hopefully that area is cleaned up and those guys don't have to go out there and do a river rescue again. But
There is one between the two bridges going on the trail, and it goes completely across that water. It's not a huge tree, but it's long.
between what two bridges?
Two
Highway
big
3?
trail bridges,
When you go across and go back on behind.
Oh, back over here.
yeah,
By the old DOT.
Yes.
and that's pretty close to where you're pouring concrete for people to get into the river, so. Want to get in on the Willow, but
Okay. The other thing I want to touch on, because I don't know how much advertising they've been doing, that last proclamation on the 10th, June 10th, I think was the last one, where the basically the percentages were lifted. So the 50% were lifted for places. There still is the separation. So towards the outdoor pool, their intent is to open. They're open now. They opened Monday for what were the previous restrictions that were placed on. So that was the private swimming lessons, the lap swimming, and fitness classes. So they were scheduling under that premise. So they booked themselves through June under those guidelines, which doesn't allow for a lot of open swim for the public. But their intent is to try to accommodate and see if they can't work out the open swim at least these last 2 weekends in June. At least open it up for those, and then in July, more time will be freed up. So little patience and that stuff will open. What it is causing is a lot of people to utilize the municipal park pond.
Yep.
That thing is packed anytime it's hot. And that's causing some issues too, and that we'll work through as far as parking and
Well, the little kids' pool that typically people buy is not available in the country right now.
Can't get one.
You can't get one no matter how much you want to pay or where you want to go. So it doesn't matter if you want a hard side one or a soft side one, they are sold out. So anything we can do to make it a little bit more accommodating, even if it's just a couple hours a day that we can publicize it being open, they would save the deluge of people.
Maybe we should clean out hydrants.
we could do that. Yeah, we could, Dave.
No.
That was not a really positive answer.
Well, in all honesty, one of the issues we actually have going on is because of what we're talking about here, we're well over 4.4 million gallons being used a day in this town. So it's just right there at the brim where we're not telling people not to water their lawns yet, but to have enough for fire protection and our industries and things, we're teetering there. So to turn on hydrants for like hydrant parties and things, it'd be great, but right now, everybody else is using it all.
Our finance director is worried about revenue.
Yep.
Water revenue.
Let's turn it over, Tim. That's all I have, unless you guys
I
have
know the
questions.
water bill at my house is going to be up, so
One thing
I'm
before
helping you out, Jacob.
is perhaps you or Christie could get with the Sentinel and get with Clem, and let's make our fireworks ordinance as as known as it can. I'm not sure a lot of people pay attention, so I don't know that there's a lot of deliberate violation of that ordinance, so maybe we can get it publicized as best we can.
If I could ask Jason one more question. about
Yeah,
that.
go ahead.
As I understand our water ordinance, you have the authority to go to odd and even with the recommendation of the water department, is that correct?
I believe it, yeah, I believe so. We
You don't
changed
have to
that a
come
few
back
years
to- You
ago.
don't have to come back to the council, you have that authority.
If we shut it off entirely from,
Yeah.
other than.
But they can
inside.
go-
But if it's just odd and even, you can do it.
Odd and even would help a lot of water.
But
Okay.
we're actually hoping for a little rain.
Okay.
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 Mr. Getting picked on.
Yeah, I guess. I have to watch what I say. I really don't have a whole lot today. Just point out a couple things on the treasurer's report. We did have our bond payment that we made at the end of May, so our expenses were a little bit higher in May. An encouraging thing, I guess, under the general fund's revenues, we had $643,000 in there. That was actually up from last year, but a lot of the reason that it was up in May was property taxes coming in a little bit later due to the whole COVID stuff. So, end of the year is coming up here, June 30, so working with a few department heads that are close on their budgets, just making sure we don't go over budget there. So, that's all I have.
And I think with property taxes, there's a little uncertainty out there, would you say? It sounds like up at the courthouse, there's quite a few people that still haven't paid. Some that don't realize that they are now delinquent. And I think they're gonna start maybe actually trying to contact some of those and make sure they're aware. Because we've only changed those rules 4 or 5 times in a couple of months. So it's kind of difficult to keep up with it, but if they don't get their money at the county, then we don't get our share at the city. So we're gonna have a bigger